Alright, YouTube, welcome back. Like I promised, this is the Christmas Day games videos. We're gonna do a couple videos. Probably do one for the Spurs Thunder, which will be this video. Do one for definitely for Denver, Minnesota. Probably do one for Dallas, Golden State, and Lakers, Rockets together. A lot to talk about, especially coming the Spurs game. Get my hat on. Boom. Alright. First thing first. Woo! What a game! What a game from the Spurs. We're gonna go both sides. Probably talk more about the Thunder. Everyone's kind of more worried about the Thunder, but damn, did the Spurs look good. First and foremost, Wemby might not be their biggest problem. I think their biggest problems are three guards. I think the guard rotation is the best guard rotation in the league. Adding Fox for as cheap as we did might end up being the difference, along with getting lucky in the draft. Because, getting 2 feet in the play every single play is just too much for most teams, even the Thunder. The Thunder don't. Most of the Thunder's defenses don't let the guards into the paint, and the fact that we can always have someone on the court to get into the paint is just killing the Thunder. Spurs shot lights out. Excellent game plan. I thought Mitch coached an absolute circles around Dagnall. I was actually very disappointed in Dagnall these last 3 games. I thought he just hasn't really been that good as a coach. Mitch Johnson, though, unbelievable. The way Mitch has used timeouts, the way he's had the rotations going, the lineups, who's actually been the 8, 9 guys he's used, it's been really good. He's constantly been keeping us in games, keeping the games close. He's used timeouts well. He's coached them really well. We have adjusted to them. The one thing about Mitch that he kind of struggled with, I think, last year and going into first few weeks this year has been drawing plays out of timeouts. If that's from the baseline or the sideline. I think Mitch has really struggled out of timeouts to do that. But these last couple Thunder games, he has been drawing up absolute great plays. We're getting good shots out of timeouts when we need them. And overall, I just think Mitch has been really great for San Antonio. The fact is that of all the coaches that ever walked through San Antonio, Mitch has been their guy. If that's Hardy, if that's Ime, if that's Becky, if that's Budenholzer, which Budenholzer was a long time ago. Mike's been around, but people thought he would be our coach. He was on our staff. Out of everyone to come through San Antonio, Mitch was hand chosen by Pop, and he showed why. Seattle stand up, Seattle boy. But damn, the Spurs look really good. Long season, January is going to be tough for us. Spurs got something like 4 back-to-backs. We got to see the Thunder early February and in January. I believe we got Milwaukee's probably not too big, but we got the Rockets twice. We got to play Denver. We got to play Minnesota. We got to play Boston. January is going to be really interesting for the Spurs. Hopefully, we're still top 4 seed going into February. If we can be a top 4 seed going into the break, that's probably a dream come true. A lot of basketball left to be played. We're really healthy right now. A lot of other teams aren't, and health has kind of been keeping this team, I guess, elite. We started the season kind of injured. I mean, Vic missed, 12 games? Dylan missed time. Steph missed time. Fox has been healthy. Shout out Fox. A lot of Spurs fans did not like Fox. Didn't see it yet with Fox. If that doesn't show you why we got De'Aaron Fox, I don't know what will. He was a big difference maker. Going into the Thunder, really disappointed, I think everyone is. I think coaching has been the biggest disappointment out of these 3 games for me. Doubtnall, I get you have a strategy, I get you have a game plan, I get you do what you do, but to sit there and let your team consistently get burnt by the same things and not adjust for them, not tell them what to do, try to change something. I guess it's still early in the regular season, but you didn't need to go into the playoffs bag to just make simple adjustments to counter some of the things the Spurs were getting clicking. Like, I get running Caruso, J-Dub, and I get rocking them on Wemby, but it feels like it just leaves the rest of the defense so vulnerable when you're putting elite wing defender on Vic and not like Chet and Hardenstein got to guard him. I think that's what we'll see in the playoffs. I don't like the small matchup versus Wemby. His rookie year, you could get away with it, but Vic is too good now. You can literally see the whole court. He can get deep into the paint. He can hit the turnaround, fade away. It just makes little sense to me now to keep rocking these smaller defenders when he's torching it. But that's not OKC's biggest problem. OKC's biggest problem is the 3 guards. When we got dudes, when Dylan gets that ball and just goes to the paint, no one is stopping him. No one is keeping him at that perimeter. When he gets to the paint, Dylan's making that. I think Chet playing bad has been Chet hasn't played bad necessarily all season, but I think there's some mental blockage that's developed, and Chet just needs to be better. This is a championship team, and they did not look the part. Outside of SGA, looking into SGA, I know he's trying his best. I know people are giving him every excuse in the world, and I don't think this is a leadership thing. I watched the game, and I'm like, it felt like empty stats. People are like, no, he's the only one trying out there. He's the only one doing shit. That was one of the most empty stats performances I've seen in a while. I don't care. We're here to hot takes. It felt like SGA was more worried about getting his than actually winning the game with his shot selection. We were forcing SGA into shots he didn't want to take, and he was making great plays, and his teammates weren't knocking it down. Like Caruso, really, bro, we kept shooting. I get shoot or shoot. You got to shoot the open shots. You got to be a threat. Keep him honest, but maybe attack the rim. Maybe try anything that's not a pulled up 3. Just kind of makes like Spurs wanted that. Once we saw the first 3-4 not make, it was like, bro, shoot that. Shoot it all game. Lou Dort, you suck. You're a dirty player. Holy, just got put on notice how dirty you are. This is not a basketball move. It's not a basketball move. This is not a basketball move. Into someone's calf that he just hurt. That is not a basketball move. That was not a flop. That was a dirty player making dirty plays. He's not the first player to ever be dirty. Won't be the last player. The NBA hopefully does something within the next while to try to combat that. But it was nice to see I think everyone can agree, it was nice to see OKC get exposed. It was nice to see a team that is one of the best teams of all time get proven they are not even close. I don't like the discourse, though, of saying, oh, OKC's going to win 70 games, and this is one of the best teams ever, and then they lose, and it's like, SGA doesn't have help. Like, no. OKC didn't show up, really, in any of those games. Even SGA really, like, an average night isn't going to cut it against a good team. That's what I was trying to get at, is him getting his average of 30 points a game and 5 assists with a couple steals. If you're doing that every night, the Spurs have accounted for that and know that even if that happens, that's probably more than likely going to happen, and you shut down other aspects of his game. Yeah, well, sure, Shea may give you 30, but it's a lot better than him giving you 40. Those 10 points are huge. Him having only 22 yesterday killed them. And that's what I'm trying to get at, is it didn't feel like SGA really elevated his play as much as people making it out to be. Like, I get he was the best player by far, doing the most, but that's the reigning MVP. Like, show me something. I don't know, Jokic ain't going down like that. And I just want to kind of come on here and rant. Told you all I'd do that. Man, the Spurs look really good. We've come a long way from 20 wins. And we haven't played playoff series yet. Playoffs will be a whole different beast. Calling it now, Mitch hasn't coached a playoff series yet. That'll be probably the biggest determining factor for them this year. Because if Vic and Steph walk into the playoffs and win a series, they're absolute dogs. So hard to win in basketball, especially when these 7-game series start. And you have to be great. You have to be good. You have to execute. And so far, they've done all of that. They got depth. They have the depth. They have the heads. They have the height, the strength, athleticism. They have an energizer off the bench in Keldon. This is a really good Spurs team. I think everyone knows that. I was saying this is a 50-win team before the season, even though everyone told me they weren't. This is easily a 55-win team. And the whole league just got put on notice. This is a pretty inexcusable loss for OKC, I think. You got to be better. Like SGA said, great quote, great leadership taken. We are just not good enough right now. They are just not good enough right now. And I see teams replicating what the Spurs did. Your guards got to be great. Your guards can't have bad nights against OKC Thunder. You got to be able to force them into shots they don't want to take. As much as it seems like a great shot, if Lou Dort and Alex Cruz aren't making those threes, let them take it. Much rather them take threes than SGA getting his shot. And that's what the Spurs seem to be the philosophy there was. Let him take that shot. We'll live with it. It's just the Spurs way. If you watch Spurs games, that is 100% the Spurs way. We'll leave an open three to stop a paint attack every single time and just live with the results. I don't know how long we're going to be able to do that for, but at least to the playoffs, I see us doing that. And I think OKC fans know it. I think they're the ones that have been saying it the most. They needed someone else who can get his own shot. If J-Dub's only going to do that once or twice per quarter, that's just not going to cut it. He needs to be doing that as much as possible. It's the classic saying, one man can't beat a team. SGA can't just go out there and do it himself. He probably wishes he could, but he probably learned and knows you don't win by yourself. And I think might be... it's a little overreaction, but winning a title as young as they did and early as they did probably didn't do him as much favors as you would think. Because this team didn't get better. This OKC team is not better than last year's team. And I think when you're in pro sports, you have to get better every year and advance your team like they did all the way up until this point with getting Caruso and Hartenstein and investing and going all in. And then to turn around and have the same lineup the next year just doesn't do it in pro sports. It doesn't. Look at any team ever. When you win, every team is trying to get above that, or at least trying to get to that. And so that's why you have to just get a little bit better, because guess what? Everyone's going to match that. And now, as much as people don't want to admit it, there's teams that are right here with them now. Where OKC is probably right here, and they were right here last season. It's more like this. And that's when you have to be a dog. KC hasn't gotten better yet. They need to keep getting better, and I don't think they're far off. I don't think the Spurs would beat them in a playoff series as of right now. It'd be a good series. It'd be a great series. The Spurs would go down fine, but I just think if you're OKC, you got to really look at this lineup and go, where can we get better? We didn't get better this offseason, and I think part of that's on the coaching too. Said it before, Darknall is the most overrated. Not most overrated, but he's a little bit overrated. He's not as good as people make him out to be, because Presti, where was the new... Keep drafting players and developing players, but you need to bring in players too. You got to bring in things you need and not try to draft and develop everything. Money is complicated a lot of times. You're paying Chet now a max contract, which was probably in the hindsight not a good thing. This is just all helping the rest of the NBA. You're paying J-Dub a shit ton of money. You're paying the MVP a shit ton of money. There's not going to be a lot of money to go around once Hartenstein's contract's up. Once Caruso, you're paying all these dudes, and I get you got to keep drafting to get dudes in, but at some point you need to go out into free agency and go, we need, even a Dennis Schroeder, even a Malik Monk, something that can get their own. Because J-Dub can, but he's not at the level of that you probably wish he was. And I hate, this is just a big long rant, but the game requirement really fucks with people and fucks with this kind of stuff, because J-Dub's got contract incentives. He's got incentives, and if he needs to play 63 games, he probably wants to play in all those games, and he probably doesn't want to take that extra week or two to truly get that hand right, and this is the result you get. And so that's why my kind of counter argument is, I was like, yeah, I understand why the NBA wanted it to be 63 games and wants players to play, but if you're not getting the best product, it kind of relegates that. Same with Victor Wembanyama. I guarantee if there was no games requirement, Vic would not have played in that first Thunder. He would not have played in the Cup. But since they're trying to get him contract incentives, and it's just turned into a mess. Those are kind of my thoughts. Spurs played really well, going onto the road into OKC, an arena that hasn't seen a loss this year, and going in and honestly kicking their ass is a big deal. It is a big deal to them, and I just think people don't realize that. This is huge for the Spurs. It's gonna be a tough January for them, but we're here to compete, and that was a great Christmas Day game. I hope everyone had a good Christmas and watched. That was a great basketball game, and yeah, NBA on Christmas always delivers. So stay tuned for more. We're gonna keep talking basketball, keep getting better, keep watching, keep grinding. My name is Brendan. Thanks for watching.